We got something new on BevCam today. We're doing our first taping of Beverly High's boys tennis match. And we will be filming the number one players on each team. I have with me now Beverly High's new coach, Chris
Lorenzano.
Get that right, Lorenzano. And I'm Bob Butterworth, certified tennis coach, USPTR and USPTA, and I'll be doing the commentary on the match. But I want to ask Chris a few questions. Chris,
Sure.
why did you get involved in coaching?
I've always had a love for coaching. I thought that back when I was back in high school, and my own experience with athletics in high school was really a really pleasant one. I ran track under Mr. Fred Hammond, and it was a great experience for me. And I wanted to give back. And when I heard the opening had an opening for the tennis coach, I seized it. I jumped on it. I was really thrilled.
Fred Hammond, common name.
Yeah.
Been on BevCam almost as long as Teddy Joseph. Okay, great guy.
Absolutely.
All right, so you've done some basketball coaching.
Yes, I coached 7 years at Church League. Church League used to be a big thing in Beverly way back 15 years ago, and then I did about 3 years of baseline with the Y program there, and I really enjoyed that. But you know, my kids aged out, and I moved on.
But you're also a tennis player.
Oh yeah, I play.
So you know something about.
Oh
that.
yeah, I've been playing tennis since I got out of high school.
And competitive.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your league play and going to nationals.
Yeah, I play in the North Shore League for Bass River, and I've also played, last year I played some USTA also for Bass River, and was fortunate enough in the over 55 7-0 league to actually make nationals, and got a chance to go down to Orlando and play at the national campus down there, which was a splendid place, over 100 courts. It was brand new, and it was quite a thrill. It was quite a thrill.
Okay, so what's Beverly's boys' record so far this year?
We've had our ups and downs this year. We're 7-5 overall, 7-3 in the conference.
We're going to make the tournament again?
Yeah, these last 3 games are very important. I think we need to win 2 out of the 3 games to make the states, and I think it's within our grasp. I really think.
Yeah, Beverly historically has had a good record of getting into the tournament. They don't get very far, but at least they're getting into the tournament.
That's right. The last 2 years they've made the tournament, and in fact, 2 years ago they were the number 1 seed. They went, I believe they went 15-0 in 2016, and again they didn't go very far in the tournament, but they were actually the number 1 seed.
Well, Middlesex. Remember, I coached Winchester, where Middlesex is at another level.
That's true.
That's true. Okay, well, listen, good luck.
Thank you very much.
And
thank you very much.
We'll be getting to the game momentarily. Okay, we're back to the match, and the number 1 players are right in front of me. They're spinning the racket to see who will serve and who will receive and start on the side. There's actually 4 choices. You can, if you win the spin, you can elect to serve, you can elect to receive, you can elect to start on a side, or you can make the opponent make the first choice. Okay, the Beverly player is to my right. It's Gab. And Gab is from Brazil. He's an exchange student. Very nice, gentle young man. Okay, so you can see his opponent just didn't get the ball in the box 2 times in a row. So that's called a double fault, and he loses the point. So right now, it's a point each. So, and that's called 15 all. Okay, so his opponent threw up a lob. When the ball goes high in the air, it's called a lob. Gab went back to play it, jumped up, and hit it in the net, and that's called an overhead. If you notice, Gab took his racket high and sliced from high to low through the ball. That's called a slice. When the racket goes from high to low. If it goes from low to high, it's called topspin. So that was a topspin shot, but it went wild. So the way the scoring goes, the first point you get 15, second point you get 30, then third point you're up to 40. So right now it's 40-30. Okay, now it's 40-40, and when that happens, the scoring changes and they call it deuce. That means it's even, and the next 2 point, you got to get 2 points in a row now to win the game. All right, so his opponent from Revere just got the point, so it's called add in if the server gets the point. If the receiver gets the point, it's called add out. Okay, so Gab got the point, so it now goes back to deuce. Remember, you got to win by 2. All right, so it goes back to add in. Gab hit the ball out. Okay, Gab got the point, so it's back to deuce. So this game's going on pretty long. So now Gab has an advantage finally. So if he gets this point, he wins. Okay, so now we have a situation where Gab hits the ball so hard and it was so close to the player. The player wasn't sure if the ball was in or out, I think. And so he called it out. And so Gab thought it was in and questioned the call. And fortunately, the Revere coach saw the whole thing and told his player that it was in. So Gab won the first game. So players, as you just noticed, they changed ends, and they'll do that on odd games. So it's 1-0, so thus they change. And then they'll change again on the 3rd, 5th, 7th games and so forth. So you have to win 6 games and be ahead by 2 in order to win a set. And to win a match, you have to win 2 sets. So it's the best, a match is the best 2 out of 3 sets. And a match can take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending on how long the points are. For the most part, the points have been short, although the the tiebreaker, I mean, the first game kept going back and forth, but the actual points are short. Now, if you look at Gab's motion, he has an excellent service motion. All right, so Gab won the second game, and in games it's 0-2. The server's score is given first. So right now it's 15 love. Another point for Revere, so now it's 30 love. So as you can tell, tennis is a very sexy game. There's a lot of love going on. That was a joke. All right. So again, another unforced error by Gabe. Gabe has a tendency to either hit a winner or to make an unforced error. So it's 40 love. Balls are supposed to be cleared. Stray balls are supposed to be cleared. Some players do it and some players don't, but they're supposed to be cleared. All right, so what Gabe did is a new shot we haven't seen. It's called a drop shot. And it's designed to bring the player to the net, and then the player tries to pass or lob him, and then you hit the ball by him. All right, so it was 40-15. Gabe made another error, so now he loses that game, but he's up 2 games to love. So you can see the balls where the net is, and you can see 2-1, except the 2 is showing over for the Revere player when he should have flipped it. So the player should be given the score, but he didn't. Take your time. You're moving better than me. All right, now that was excellent. Now we saw a little different strategy here where Gabe hit his shot and then went up to the net, and then he hit the ball back. Now when the ball does not bounce, that's called a volley. When the ball bounces and the player's hitting it, it's called a ground stroke, or it's a rally. So sometimes people say to you, would you like to rally? That means would you like to just hit balls baseline to baseline? Okay, so when Gabe's serve went over to the other court, the player should have held on to the ball because Gabe has a right to go into his next serve as soon as possible. So that was not good. And that was his own player that did that to him. So basically, the way the game's played, you move, you balance, you stroke. So whatever happens first is the most important. So movement's the most important, because if you don't get to the ball, even if you got a perfect stroke, what good is it if you can't use it? All right, looks like Gabe's getting a little frustrated. He's making a lot of unforced errors on easy balls coming to him. The Revere player really doesn't have a strong serve. But he's getting it in. So the Revere player tried something a little different coming in to the net, and Gabe passed him. That's called a passing shot. And excellent form by Gabe. He did what's called a chip and charge, where you come in and you put underspin on the ball, skip it to your opponent, and come to the net, and then finish. Unfortunately, the ball went deep. Okay, double fault. So you once again, you lose the point on that. You get two chances to get your serve in. If you can't, then it's a double fault. Another double fault. So the Revere player is helping Gabe out. Let's see what Gabe can do with this now. All right, it's ad out. That means Gabe has the advantage. All right, so now it's not 40-40, it goes to deuce. All right. The player lobbed Gabe, and the ball was in, and Gabe should be making the call in or out. You either do that verbally by saying in or out, or if your back is turned, if you put your hand out like an umpire in baseball is making a safe sign, that means it was good. If you point your finger up in the air, it is out. Gabe did not make one of those calls, which is, well, let's put it this way: he should be making the call. He should be communicating on that. So the player had to ask him whether it was in or out. All right, so again, the Revere players helped them out with a double fault. So if the receiver has the advantage, what Gabe does, it's called advantage out. So if he gets this point, he wins. And he got it. And he needed that game, and he got it. All right, so it's four games to one. Beverly's in the lead. So even though the games have, each individual game hasn't been real long ones, play has been actually a little closer than the scores. The big difference is the Revere player has done a lot of double faulting. And just as I say that, Gabe just had one himself. Very nice serve. Another one. If Gabe could just keep his forehand on the court more frequently, he could jump way up and be a much stronger player. The potential is there. Unfortunately, he's a senior and he'll be going back to Brazil and going to college in Brazil. And in Brazil, like a number of countries, once you get to college, they don't have sports. In a number of countries, and because Russia's one of them, they identify kids in local towns and cities that have talent doing different sports, and then they send them off to special sports schools or academies, and they're away from their parents for most of the year. And they train, and they get their schooling. In the United States, we have a little bit of that example. If you're a very talented junior tennis player, your parents may elect to send you to like a tennis school, like Nick Bollettieri is famous. He has developed about 15 Grand Slam tennis winners, and they train during the day for a number of hours, and then they also get their schooling. In New England, right in Manchester, the Manchester Athletic Club is the only approved USTA, United States Tennis Association, training facility. And a number of kids from foreign countries, particularly South America, come up to Manchester, and they end up get their tutoring studies right at the academy, as well as all their tennis. And there are a number of pros that have come up from South America that actually do the coaching, and they've also got some from Europe, and they also have kids from Europe that come over. And because these kids have aspirations of getting good enough to be able to go on tour and make some money. Okay, now after each game, that you've seen. You see them just quickly go to the net, switch the balls on what the score is, and go to the other side. But actually, they have a minute and a half if they want to take it. And a lot of times they'll sit down in a chair and they'll drink some fluids and stuff like that. But it's very cool today. It's only in the low 50s. And so they finally decided to get some water. Now, they're not supposed to leave the courts. They're supposed to stay at the court and have their water like at the posts. But it's really no big deal. Once again, Gabe has a very high quality serve. I don't know what's going on. They've stopped play for maybe the Revere player? Yeah, but why did Gabe? All right, they're not supposed to take a break at the end of a set. They take a break at the end of 2 sets. So I don't know why they're taking a break. Okay, so summing up the first set. Gabe won, score-wise, easily, but the big difference was the Revere player had way too many double faults. And if he had cut down on his double faults, the match would be closer.
You are watching BevCam. Here, anyone can come to the studio to make their own local TV show. Contact us with your idea. We'll help you get started with producing your own show, editing it, and then we'll broadcast it to all of Beverly for your friends and family to see. You might even get some new fans. We also film local events like sports, music, city council meetings, and more. If you miss out on anything in town, you can catch up on it here. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Contact us at 978-927-5544 or email us at admin@bevcam.org.
Okay, the players are back on the court to start the second set. Now, if Gabe wins the second set, then he'll win the match because it's the best 2 out of 3. If the Revere player comes back and wins the second set, then they'll play a third set for the match. Now, the players stand ready, but what you're supposed to do is hold the ball up in the air with one hand. And that's like letting the other player know, are you ready? I'm getting ready to serve. Here he goes, double faulting. Now his actual service motion is very poor. His ground strokes are way ahead of his service game, yet the serve is the most important stroke in the game. So he needs some instruction on from a certified pro. So once again, when they're at the baseline making their shots, they're called ground strokes. Okay, that was a little different. Only once in a while will you end up with both players at the net when the point is finished. I call that hand-to-hand combat. Okay, Gabe just made a very nice overhead in which he jumped in the air, did a scissors kick, and put the ball away. Nice try. Both players are very quick covering the court. All right, once again, that was the first game of the set. And so they changed ends on odd games. So we're getting a really good look at Gabe's serve now in his motion. Slow speed up. That's the rhythm. Slow speed up. So you go slow when you're bringing the racket up, and then you accelerate. So the racket shouldn't stop. You shouldn't go up, stop. The racket should be in continuous motion. Whoever worked with him as a pro did an excellent job. It really attacks the ball. So another game from Gabe. So because Gabe's serve is so strong, he gets a lot of points off of it. So when his opponent's serving, it's important that his opponent win his games. But because he's double faulted so much, it's made it easy for Gabe, even though Gabe makes a lot of errors on his forehand. All right, so Gabe just made an excellent passing shot when his opponent came to the net. Another double fault. You can see the ball was deep by about 6 inches. Also, the Revere player is rushing. He's getting his ball and running back to the line and quickly introducing it into play. He needs He needs to take a few deep breaths, slow down, concentrate. Now Gabe's doing something that is really not proper etiquette. If it's a fault serve and you can hold up, you're supposed to hold up and not take a free swing through it. But his opponent isn't saying anything, but his opponent could question Gabe on that, and Gabe would have to stop. Gabe has as good a serve, first serve, that I've seen in a long time. And I've been coaching for 40 years. I was the Winchester boys tennis coach. I coached Division I at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, boys and girls. I just recently coached a player that graduated from Davidson College and holds wins over Clemson University. My #1 female player was ranked 23 in the country, NCAA. So I've seen and worked with a lot of high quality players. Excellent return when Gabe was stretched. So there he goes. He makes one great hit, and then on the very next one, the ball's way out. So the Revere player was at the net, and Gabe hit the ball so hard he couldn't turn around fast enough to see if it was in and out. And when that happens, you can ask your opponent to make the call. And so that's what happened there. It's feast of famine with Gabe in his forehand. Just hit another excellent forehand. Okay, once again, the fifth game, so they switch. So Gabe's away of five love. So this match, it looks like it's close to being over. A rear double fault from Gabe. Feast of famine again. Just beautiful technique. That's an ace. An ace is when the ball can't be returned on a serve.
Out.
Oh, another double fault. But you can see in this case there was a correction because on the first serve, his serve went into the net. What's really bad is if the serve goes into the same spot. But no, at least he erred deep.
Out.
He might be losing his concentration a little bit, being way up, getting a little sloppy. Now, one of the things the Revere player is doing, he's standing way back to return serve, and that's to give himself a little more time to react to the ball. Nice match, gentlemen. We've got you on tape. You're going to be on YouTube. Okay, the match is over. Next week we're going to be doing a Beverly High School boys doubles match. And doubles is almost a totally different game than singles. And we're also going to be doing one of the girls' matches. I think that one's on Wednesday. I'm not sure if we'll do a singles or a doubles. And then the season's over, and hopefully, well, for home matches, And then hopefully Beverly's boys and girls will be getting into tournament play. So Bob Butterworth here, signing off. Hope you have a great day.